Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I got some creepy videos that's gonna make you rethink reality. I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy this one as well. So if you guys are ready, let's check these out. To me, it seems like the reason why that's happening is because he's pushing the turning arm with his hand, which is causing the next arm to rotate ahead of him looking through it. That's why it's showing to be in front of him. It's just a mistake on his part.
So the planet Pluto is not named after the dog, even though the dog and the planet were named like
the same time,
like the same year, which is weird. But isn't it funny how nobody thinks it's weird that Walt Disney named a dog after the ferry boat guy to hell? Or to death. I mean, that's what Pluto is. I mean, he basically is like Hades. Like, he takes the soul to hell, to the underworld. And so that's what the dog's name. What else is that cat in Cinderella is named Lucifer?
Lucifer! Let him go, Lucifer!
Oh, yeah.
That's weird. Just think about the Smurfs. So you have Gargamel, which sounds an awful lot like Gadriel. And what's his cat's name? Azrael.
Cat's name is Azrael in that?
Yeah, his cat's name is Azrael.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Gargamel and Azrael.
Oh my gosh, and the Smurfs?
That sounds an awful lot like Gadriel and Azazel.
What? I never even put that together. That's interesting.
Wait, what? How does it get Azazel from Azrael sounding alike? He's digging too deep. It is weird that they named the dog Pluto and the cat Lucifer. I mean, like, what would be the motive for that? There's plenty of other names.
Remember when I explained to you, like, it's our job? Mm-hmm. Like, you know how we bring up and people say, like, I'm a, like, devil worshiper or anything? But how's the music? Because it'll be I'd be like, Uzi, get with God. And then I'll drop a song and like, damn. And it's just like, like, why are y'all even bringing up religion? Religion is just like, why are you bringing, like, we don't, like what they say, don't bring up religion, a woman's age or
Yeah,
like,
no,
why are you even bringing, like, I don't like.
What is he even saying? Like, he just talking for the purpose of talking. What he's saying makes absolutely no sense. I guess I will have to listen to the beginning of the conversation, but on that clip, it just sounds to me like he's talking about the people saying that he's worshiping the devil, but they still listen to his music, and like he doesn't want them to bring up religion. I don't know. People just listen to music because they don't believe that you guys are actually worshiping Satan. They think this is all a conspiracy theory, but you guys really are, which is the problem. There's a lot of people that are not educated on the subject, and they think that everybody's good and there's no evil out there, which we all know is not the case. But
this has got to be the weirdest thing I have ever seen. And I grew up listening to Eminem, but there's no defending this guy anymore.
You're doing great. When I count to 3, I need you to push as hard as you can. 1, 2, and 3. He's not breathing.
What's going on? What's happening? What's happening?
Hook up the heart monitor.
It'll be okay. All right, calm down.
No.
My baby!
He's okay.
So you're the little bugger that kept kicking me and all that weird stuff. Oh my God.
What in the name of God?
What did you do to him? What the fuck? Holy shit!
okay, explain that one to me. Like, what reason is there to create that type of video for music? I mean, he doesn't need the fame. He's already famous, right? And like, everybody knows Eminem, so whenever you come out with an album, everybody's gonna listen to it. You don't need to cater to this type of imagery in order for people to listen to your music. So the only explanation is you are part of the system now. You need to do the same thing everybody else is doing. They're not gonna play your music now unless you do that, right? I guess he wants to be relevant again, and this is the price he has to pay in order to be back on the spotlight. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below.
So Harvestman, no, está lleno de pelos ahí. ¿Será un animal que está dormido ahí? Tantito. Vean esto. ¡Qué fregonería! encontramos lo que pensábamos ser un animal dormido.
No
Y
way.
es un nido de arañas donde salen y salen y salen. Pero es un animal muerto. ¿Se van a subir? No, no es un animal muerto. ¿Sabes lo que son? Son las patas de ellas. Lo que pasa es que están tan amontonadas, mira. Ya se está acabando el pelo. Yo le toco aquí.
That's the gift that keeps on giving.
Cayeron todas estas. Creo que no son arañas, se llaman opiliones o harvestmen.
A lot of spiders, or I mean, he's saying in that video that he doesn't think they're spiders, that they're called harvestmen. I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments below, but you wouldn't see me poking them with a stick. Not that I'm afraid of spiders or anything, but that many spiders or whatever they are, you bothering them and them crawling all over you, that's not a feeling I want to experience.
This is so weird. The Göbekli Tepe. There's new stuff coming out from that.
What?
So this guy who was on the Joe Rogan podcast, he's just like, isn't it kind of weird that this site was discovered in the 90s, but yet we've only dug up 5%. He did some digging. Guess who owns the Göbekli Tepe?
I bet BlackRock.
George Bush. MySpace Tom.
Was I right?
No.
Oh.
The World Economic Forum. The weirdos that say that you will own nothing and be happy. These guys that are like dictating everything about our world, they own Göbekli Tepe. And they said we will not excavate it anymore because we want to leave it for future generations.
That makes no sense.
We could find out so much more about the people or things that built this site. I really do feel like this site had something to do with the Watchers. What are they hiding? Do they know something about it that they're just like, we can't expose this because could it give proof to all this ancient knowledge that would validate scripture, maybe, you know? And what this guy said is, our government will never acknowledge what they can't control.
I don't know. I think it makes a lot of sense that they don't want to look into Göbekli Tepe anymore. It's not in their best interest, because if there is some ancient technology there, or some, not even technology, let's say that there's a possibility that there's some information about the ancient world or ancient cultures, and they don't want people to know about it. So the only way that they could do it is by preventing people from digging, with the excuse that they're saving it for the future generations. Like, that part makes absolutely no sense. Like, why would you want to save something for the future generations where you could just dig it out right now, find out all the information there is to find out, and then just save that information for future generations to look into?
I think levitation was a scientific reality to ancient cultures.
You know, if you just put a block on top of a speaker and apply frequency and vibration, it moves on its own. I mean, basically, we're talking about levitation.
That there are forms of energy that are orders of magnitude more efficient than anything we're using today.
The pyramids were built with, by lifting stone that weighed tons, thousands and thousands of pounds with sticks.
A lot of those stones are 50, 100, 200 tons, even bigger than that. People are really beginning to question. Could look at it as an anomaly. And one culture at one point in history said, hey, you know what? We're going to quarry and move 200-ton stones just for the heck of it. All over the world, they're doing these incredible structures with these massive stones. You know, as a builder, I have, had to move heavy weights sometimes. And of course, we'll bring in cranes. Presumably they didn't have back then, or front end loaders lift up a 1-ton beam.
I believe they were able to harness some type of energy out of the earth to move those.
Yeah, the whole pyramids, it makes no sense to me. Like, people want to tell you that they did it with sticks and wood rollers and whatnot, and there's a lot of slaves, and that they could use the slaves. But like, the timing, there's a lot of people that researched it and say that the timing doesn't add up, because it would have taken them way more time than what they're claiming that it took them in order to build them. Even with all the slave labor, civilization with better technology than what we have did it, especially using frequencies. That is very intriguing. The sound could actually make things levitate. So imagine if they had some type of high frequency and they could just use that to levitate those stones. That's another possibility. But I guess we'll never know, because the World Economic Forum is not allowing us to investigate ancient temples and findings deeper than what they are now.
One, this is not a 737 problem. It's a Boeing problem. When I first started working at Charleston, I was in charge with pushing back defects to our suppliers. I'd take a group of inspectors and actually go to the supplier and inspect their product before they sent it in. Well, I'd taken a team of 4 inspectors to Spirit Aerosystems to inspect the 41 section before they sent it to Charleston. And we found 300 defects Some of them were significant that needed engineering intervention. When I returned to Charleston, my senior manager told me that we had found too many defects and he was going to take the next trip. So the next trip he went on, he took 2 of my inspectors. And when they got back, they were given accolades for only finding 50 defects. So I pulled that inspector aside and I said, did Spirit really clean up their act that quick? That don't sound right. And she was mad. She said, no. Said the 2 inspectors were given 2 hours to inspect the whole 41 section and they were kicked off the airplane.
That's crazy, man. Like, they just playing with people's lives at this point. Like, they don't care. They just want their money. It's a shame because that is something that a lot of people use in order to get from point A to point B. And for them to just be nonchalant about it and not give 3 Fs about the defects and not wanting to fix them because they want to make a little bit extra, that makes absolutely no sense in my eyes. At some point, somebody has to step in and do something.
They had wiretapped Marilyn Monroe's phone, and she was calling up Bobby Kennedy and a friend of hers named Rothberg in New York, who was an art dealer, saying that she was going to hold a press conference to tell the whole world what Kennedy had told her about, and I'm quoting, the objects from outer space from the 40s found in New Mexico, a clear reference to Roswell and a couple of other events that happened out there. So Marilyn, because I think the Kennedy brothers had distanced themselves because the affair she was having with Jack Kennedy was a little bit getting too well known, she was angry. And so she was threatening to spill the beans in a public news conference where the whole world would have been there. Before she could do that, Wetworks killed her, made it look like an overdose of drugs. Kennedy was livid that happened. But he was working on an executive order at that time that would have dissolved the agency and a lot of these operations that were dealing with this.
The agency is in CIA?
Yeah.
If it is true that she was trying to expose whatever the Kennedys told her, that would explain why they would go ahead and do that. They can have you divulging state secrets like that. Now, if Kennedy was really trying to dissolve the CIA, I guess we know who deleted him.
Things we don't know that maybe we will never know. And that's the enigma of Antarctica. It is truly one of the most curious, inhospitable, and unworldly-like places in the world. Here is New Schwabenland. This is an actual map. This area also has, like the dry valleys, an area where no ice accumulates. They call these spots oases. German soldiers even growing their own crops in the summer. This is the presumed location of Base 211, the New Berlin base. Over 100 U-boats in the Wolf convoy, the Führer's convoy, the largest U-boats, which may have shepherded out all of the craft that was being worked on in Germany at the Skoda Works, which is now Czech Republic. The Allies and the Russians, they didn't find any of the craft. Could be that they went right here to those mountains, this protected area.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculations about Hitler and what he did after the war. Many people claim that he did not die, like they're saying he did. That he escaped with a bunch of his men and they flee to Antarctica. According to this, there's supposed to be a base there. That might be the base where they all took refuge and hid from the rest of the world.
This is where Operation High Jump was coming. A 6-month expedition led by our Admiral Byrd. And he said that we may be confronting an enemy that can fly pole to pole at incredible speeds. Operation High Jump was confronted with craft that came out of the water and that had some kind of laser that sliced one of our destroyers called the USS Murdoch in half. And the flyover of Washington, D.C., the famous crafts, most researchers would agree that those were craft that came out of Antarctica. Something under the ice, an airstrip, what looks like snowmobile tracks, some trails, maybe even some people walking around it. And now this is what you'll find today. The coordinates are exactly where the German Conan base is. And also all around Antarctica, as I was looking for discs under the ice, you can find them. You can find some of these strange anomalies that look very much like some kind of disk. And now you have what could be pyramids. And I've located 3 areas of pyramids. So
he's mentioning Operation High Jump, and for those of you that do not know what Operation High Jump is when Admiral Byrd went to Antarctica. He claimed that he saw a spot, not a spot, it was a hole. He claimed he saw a hole, and within that hole there were trees and a forest, and it looked like it was full of greenery, and it looked like there could be a civilization underground. And this could be why we're not allowed to step foot in Antarctica.
potential for an alien base, yes, there is very compelling Google Earth pictures of what looks like this. So the question is, are they ours or are they theirs? Well, these are some other interesting ones. Are these artifacts or these could be real? These look very much like the step pyramids of Saqqara. And nature doesn't really do anything in these kind of perfect right angles. Appears to have been crafted by an intelligent people. The Argentinians had set up a base here and were working out of here. And this is where supposedly the black goo comes from. What is the black goo? Well, it is this AI substance that can be used to rapidly clone any life form. It was brought to Earth by a benevolent ET group shortly after the Toba eruption 74,000 years ago. The idea was that we were very susceptible to a takeover. So the black goo was brought to Earth and stored. The black goo was taken back to the UK. It got loose. It could be that it's taken on new forms. If it's AI, it has some kind of intelligence of its own.
What the hell? That's news to me. I never knew anything about this black goo. Have you guys heard of it before? If you have, let me know in the comments. So they're saying that the black goo could basically clone any life form on Earth, and not only that, but it could be like an artificial intelligence. Maybe the black goo is AI and we've been talking to this black goo all along. Anyways, let me know in the comments below if you heard of the black goo or if you have any more information. But I'll tell you what, I'm gonna keep digging into the black goo mystery from now on. Hey guys, can you hit that like button for me so that YouTube could share the video to other people that enjoy this type of content? That's it for the video today, and I hope you have a good one. See you next time, and peace out.